Hey guys, welcome back. Today I wanted to do a follow-up video on my last one where I talked about the universal law of assumption and when you're applying this to, say, a specific person or manifesting love or anything that you really desire, and the concept of whether or not you are delulu or delusional. I'm going to link it up here for you guys if you want to check it out. And I wanted to expand on this a little bit more and talk about what I mentioned in that video about the concept of all possibilities or probabilities existing at once, and the fact that our entire experience as individuals is always based on our individual observation. So let's link science, specifically quantum physics and the observer effect, in with the universal law of assumption and what Neville Goddard and other teachers always emphasize to us, which is that creation is finished. Essentially meaning anything that you could ever think of or imagine already exists and is accessible through consciousness. Now, I did mention in the last video that your subconscious mind can be likened to the quantum field. So let's talk about this now in the context of manifesting a specific person, shifting realities, why your 3D circumstances never ever matter, why there are infinite versions of reality, and let's even discuss how this could apply when it comes down to shifting anyone's behavior in your personal reality or having your specific person conform based on you being the observer. So guys, welcome back. If you're new here, I am Talzi. I am a tarot reader and a spiritual and mindset coach. And on this channel, I do combine tarot with manifesting techniques and the universal law of assumption to help you break unconscious patterns, shift outcomes, and to get your desired results, specifically in your love life. So guys, let's get into this topic. One of the most interesting scientific parallels, in my opinion, to manifesting comes from quantum physics, particularly, as I mentioned, the observer effect. In quantum experiments, scientists discovered that the behavior of particles changed simply by being observed. I'm not going to go too deep into the actual science of everything, though you guys can check out some of the information online or do your own research. But whilst this hasn't been necessarily proven scientifically, we can liken it to the idea that everything within our reality is coming down to us and our personal observation and our state of consciousness. If you can imagine that people are behaving in your reality specifically in accordance to your dominant thoughts and assumptions, as Neville taught us, then we can also liken this to quantum mechanics, that a particle exists in infinite possibilities and that once observed, the wave collapses into a specific outcome, meaning that out of all the possibilities that are existing, only one is materialized in physical reality. So here's the key, guys. Just because one outcome was observed, for example, you or your specific person, particular interaction you had with them, or them leaving, or you not going into a relationship, etc., does not mean that the other possibilities or probabilities have disappeared. So how does this apply to manifesting a person or any outcome? If we apply this to our reality, you can see that everything exists as a probability until you observe it into being through your focus, thoughts, and assumptions, as Neville, Joseph Murphy, or any other law of assumption teacher would explain. Let's say you're manifesting a specific person. At any given moment, infinite versions of this person exist. One where they love you, one where they ignore you, one where they are with a third party, and one where they are fully choosing you, loving you, devoted to you, committed to you, whatever. Whichever version of them you persistently hold in your mind, the thoughts and assumptions you project onto them, consciously or unconsciously, guys, you could liken as the version that collapses and continues to collapse in your reality. If you continuously have thoughts and persistently assume, for example, they don't want me or they're happy with someone else, you are theoretically collapsing that probability into existence in your 3D over and over and over. But if you, as the observer, shift your assumption, your dominant thoughts, and your focus to they are completely devoted to me and persist, you are selecting that probability, and then reality must rearrange itself to reflect it to you. This is what Neville Goddard was teaching, that everything on the outside is a reflection of you. Everyone is you pushed out. So this would apply to any circumstance. If someone blocked you, that is just one probability that you observed into existence. It is not an ultimate truth. If you persist in observing that they blocked you, then that probability persists. If they left you for a third party, well, that was a manifestation of past assumptions and your focus, you as the observer, from one state of consciousness, as Neville Goddard would explain, where you had unconscious thoughts and assumptions about them, love, yourself, how you feel about yourself in relation to love or the people you love, and how you observe the connection or that person from that standpoint. But the probability of them coming back still exists in the quantum field. If you assume they love you and are drawn to you, you are shifting to the quantum probability of that version of them, or of that outcome collapsing. Circumstances are just collapsed waves, guys. You can always reselect. So many people believe that once something has happened, it is final. But in quantum terms, the past is not set in stone. It was just one probability, as I've explained, that played out based on previous assumptions, and it is one probability out of infinite. That means if your SP left, they can return. If they said they don't want a relationship, that doesn't mean it is permanent. They can change their mind, or there is another version in existence where they want a relationship. If there was a third party, that's also not permanent. Why? Because just as in quantum physics, if we understand and we combine and apply universal law, other probabilities always remain available and are in existence simultaneously. The only thing required to shift to a different outcome is a change in observation and thoughts and assumptions, which means you must persist in that preferred observation and persisting in that until reality conforms. Your focus determines the outcome, so choose consciously, guys. If you can detach from what has previously collapsed in one version of reality and what is evident to you in your senses in the present state, and persist in being the observer by selecting new thoughts embodying a different state of being or consciousness, then reality must shift. You're collapsing a different result through this observation and selecting a different experience through the quantum field. The moment you decide who you are and what you will experience and consciously choose to observe reality differently, selecting a new story about your SP, for example, then reality starts to shift accordingly. If you keep observing a person or situation in the same way, you will keep collapsing the same probability. Consciously shift your focus and a different probability will and must materialize. It is not just science and scientific theory, it is universal law. So if you want a new outcome, stop observing reality as it is and start assuming the version you prefer with focus, because reality is always responding to that and your state of being, your state of consciousness. Nothing is ever final. You are the observer. You are the operant power, as Neville Goddard always said and emphasized. The moment you make a decision and persist in it, reality must conform. So thanks, guys. I hope it helped. Like and subscribe if you want to see more manifesting content, or if you like tarot, where I focus on love and how to work your own magic to manifest your preferred outcomes. I'll check in with you guys soon. Lots of love.